My friend Charles Payne, who, as you know, hosts his own show on Fox Business, and he graciously is on with us right before he's on air. Charles, good to talk with you, my friend. What are you worried about about inflation becoming higher than maybe we're all kind of girding our loins for right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, thank you for that beautiful introduction. Here's the thing. There's so many ways of measuring inflation, and I always try to tell people, remember that, right? Because when our paychecks inflate, we love it. When the value of our house inflates, we love it. When the value of our stock portfolio inflates, we love it. But I think what the issue is right now is the artificial nature of why some of this is happening. Now, on one side, the Fed, they're talking about supply chains and things like that. And that's a legitimate thing to talk about. You shut the entire world off. You hit a switch and you shut the entire global economy down. And then you later on, almost a year later, hit a switch and say, well, let's start it up again. Yeah, there's going to be some kinks in the system. I think more worrisome than that, and you were talking about this, is what shouldn't be happening. The trillions and trillions of dollars in excess that we've put out there. I mean, obviously, a year ago, we were in an emergency situation. Again, you make people not work. You got to give them a way to pay their bills. We all get that. But as we started to come out of this, as we started to get this V-shaped recovery, which began last summer, some of the more recent quote-unquote emergency measures were 1,000% unnecessary, and they made things worse. And so, yeah, someone's not working. You send them a bunch of money, and they go out and they spend it. It sends the prices higher. And what's really frustrating is for the people who decide they do want to work, they want to continue working. Guess what? They've got to pay those higher prices.
Yeah.
So, and now we've got $3.5, really $5.5, $6 trillion that they are really. I mean, every day they say they're going to ram this through. I'm seeing little signs with Senator Sinema making me a little nervous. She's like, I'm not for it, but let's keep it moving along. Like, I've seen that movie before.
Yeah.
And it is really, really. I think honestly. This kind of reminds me of Obamacare, and I've been doing some work on this because that was passed in March of that year, of the same year they had the midterms. And so they lost 63 House seats, which, by the way, was significantly more than a Republican revolution that Newt Gingrich led.
Yes, way more.
It was, and you remember President Obama at the time called it a shellacking.
Shellacking, yes.
If they push this through, Dana. What they do to prices in this country, what they do to skew the normal business cycle and business environment in this country is political suicide and it's economic suicide.
Oh, I can only imagine. Talking to my friend Charles Payne, host of his show on Fox Business. And of course, when do you think that some of this is really going to start kicking in? Because so far I see everyone speculating that this is going to probably, all of the increases in prices for the stuff, everyday stuff that we all buy, this is going to be in definitely before Christmas, but we're going to be really feeling the pain during Christmas.
We are going to be feeling the pain during Christmas. You played a clip of Jerome Powell. I think one of the most compelling things he said yesterday, and I really didn't see anybody pick up on this, he explained what transitory means. And I think, think about this. If inflation went from 0 to 10 on a product, right, any product for any reason, and someone told you it was transitory, in your mind, then it would come back down to 0. The way he explained it is, no, it's going to go to 0 to 10 and mostly stay at 10, but then it won't go up a lot after that. So that's scarier, right? I mean, right now we're kind of all thinking, well, lumber went up and then it came down. Everything else would do that. No, he's saying that, no, it's going to go up. The transitory part isn't that it comes back down. It's just that it stops going up. So these prices, get used to them. And if you don't have wages that are going up to match it, you know what? You're in trouble. And on that note, by the way, wages are moving higher, but they are not matching it. And so far, every single month this year, wages, when you take into account inflation, are negative. They are down year over year every single month.
Oh man, this is not inspiring a lot of confidence, and I can only imagine what that.
I know, I'm sorry.
Everybody always judges that Christmas spending too as sort of like the marker for what the economy is going to do, the next year. So I'm already just stealing myself for those headlines. Talking to my friend Charles Payne with Fox Business. One of the other big things, and this was trending. This has been trending online. This has to do with AMC. The whole idea of dark pools, and I know that there have been some folks that have been calling to suspend dark pools, and that's when they have these like little private exchanges that they do. They're trading on their securities trading on. There's been calls for the SEC to kind of shut those down. Do they have the ability to do that? And is that like a permanent thing?
Well, they have the ability to do that. I think they have the ability to do it. Do they have the willpower to do it? You know, I mean, listen, if you think about every major issue in this country when it comes to government oversight, it's typically the root source of it is the fact that you have a conveyor belt from people who work at these jobs, whether it's the SEC, the FAA, the FTC, put any letter you want there, and then they go to the private sector. You know, why does the Securities and Exchange Commission never truly crack down on big brokerage firms? Because when they get out of those jobs, they want to go get a job at Goldman Sachs for $800,000 a year. You know, why didn't the FAA really crack down on Boeing? Well, you know, you make $90,000 a year at the FAA, you can get yourself a real good $650,000 a year gig at Boeing. And so at the SEC, they have the ability. Will they do it? You know, that's the problem. And just think the name itself, Dark Pools.
It sounds like a horror film.
I mean, scary. It's like, yeah, I mean, you put your head in there, you hear Vincent Price, right? Welcome to the dark pool. I mean, are you serious? Like, and this is what I'm supposed to have confidence with? You're telling me to go work real hard and then invest in, and, you know, I want to be a part of this. I want to invest. Yeah, I want to be an owner, but I'm going to do this. And then you mean that there's all the big people, all the citadels of the world with tens of billions of dollars, and they get to do transactions that we find out about later, if we ever find out about them at all?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It does. Yeah, I mean, it is scary, but that's a really good point too about whether or not these folks are, like with the SEC or elsewhere, whether they're going to get involved in this, and do they have the willpower to do it? Because you're right, and that's something that I hadn't considered. I mean, they want to be able to get some jobs after this. They're kind of also looking out for their own personal bottom line. Talking to our friend Charles Payne with Fox Business, and of course, you know, the jobless numbers are out. I know that there's a lot of spin from the White House, and it seems like every time we get these jobless claims out, the White House is like, "Oh, this is great. I mean, it's above what we expected." But no, it's actually you're already laughing. You're like, "No, I'm not buying it."
Yeah, no. Let me tell you something. I don't know who's in charge of writing spin at the White House, but that person got writer's cramp this morning. 8:30, we got the initial jobless claims and the GDP report, and you want to talk about a dual disaster. This is scary stuff, Dana. They were talking about this second quarter GDP being almost 8.5%. Some were saying it was going to be double-digit, 10% growth. It came in at 6.5%. That is a significant miss, a significant miss. The other side of that is how the heck are still, even after we've reopened the economy, 400,000 Americans saying, I need unemployment benefits. This is scary. I'm telling you right now, this is where, you know, and Biden really has his hands full, because he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. You know, he wants to be the president who brags about jobs. You know, he inherited a V-shaped recovery. He inherited a tremendous amount of economic momentum. He wants to be that president, though, who takes credit for that, but also keep enough fear instilled inside of us that they can keep these emergency powers that push through, you know, $3, $4, $5 trillion spending plans. He's in a pickle. Now, he's going to talk today at 4 o'clock about these mandatory mask and vaccination mandates, but he is in a real pickle, because if they shut this economy down again, I don't, you know, it was amazing we recovered the way we did last time, but if they shut it down again, honestly, I'm not the type of person who gets afraid about anything. I would be afraid.
See, and that's where, and when Charles is afraid, that's when I'm like, okay, make sure I got all the stuff I need in my prepper pantry and everything ready to go. Because that's, I mean, it's true. I mean, if we go into another lockdown, which I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure some of them could be pressured. Some of these more, you know, some of these Republican governors who've been resistant to shutting their states down. But I do think that the federal government's going to try to find a way to pressure them if it happens. What I think some people are saying, maybe they'll try to do it around October, which we would never be able. I don't think we'd ever be able to recover from another lockdown, Charles. I really don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think so either. I think, you know, we've already pushed the envelope in terms of money printing. We certainly have pushed the envelope with respect to how we've changed the basic behavior of America. The ethos of our country are steeply rooted in the ability of each individual to go out there and succeed. It's something we have always taken pride on. We work hard. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps is why we, we're able to just springboard over all these other nations that were around for thousands of years, this young upstart nation. And that has already begun to change. Earlier this week, the Dallas Fed put out a survey from business owners. When you read this thing, you want to cry. They cannot get people to work. And this is even after they've taken away the federal unemployment benefits. One guy said he has usually 10 a week interviews. Only a third show up. He says almost every one of them are not hireable, but he still hires them anyway. And 95% quit in a month.
Wow.
And something is going on with us in terms of our work ethic, that famous American work ethic. And it is, so we shut down again. We tell people not to work anymore. We say, well, not to work anymore. I just think we're going to be derailed educational-wise. We talk about the achievement gap, particularly in urban cities. Mm-hmm. It's already like a 3-year educational gap. I think from what we saw in the last year, it's going to be 4 or 5 years. It's going to be where, these schemes like free community college already a joke. Hey, if I got a 5th grade reading level, what the hell am I going to do with free community college? So we cannot afford to shut down again.
Oh, I hear you. And that's a great point, too, about the academic gap with that. Charles Payne, Making Money with Charles Payne. Watch him on Fox Business. Find him at wstreet.com and at CV Payne on Twitter. Charles, my friend, thank you so much for bringing the common sense every single day.
Same here.
We appreciate it. God bless. Take care.
Here. If they shut it down, Dana, look out for me. I'll be right in your front door.
That's right. You come to Texas. You come to Texas. I'm ready. We got a stock freezer. We're ready to go. Take care.
All right.
Bye.